So here's how insane this whole thing is. If you go to the polls to vote, for 100 years, it has been illegal to politic at polls. Let me just read you the Virginia statute. This is a state of Virginia statute, okay? During the times the polls are open and ballots are being counted, it is unlawful for any person to loiter or congregate within 40 feet of any entrance of any polling place. So you can't hang out, because what the state of Virginia and every other state in the union says is we don't want pressure brought to bear on anybody voting. That is in stone and has been, in each state it was different, but for decades. But in mail-in voting, you don't have any regulation. In fact, a guy or a gal could come to your house, take your vote from you, perhaps even help you fill it out, who would know, and then bring it to the polling place. You don't even have to bring it yourself. Are you kidding me? That's called bundling. And that's what the precinct commanders on the Democratic side do. They canvass on mail-in votes. Did you fill out your vote yet? Do you know how? Do you need any help? Oh, very good. Just sign your name here. I'll take it. And I'll deliver it. You can't do that if you go to the polls in person. But you can do it. You're not supposed to, but certainly you can, and it is being done in the mail-in. The mail-in is the biggest avenue of fraud this country has ever seen. Yet, the Democratic Party desperately wants universal mail-in. I wonder why. Now, I don't mind you giving a ride to the poll to elderly people, helping them, people who are ill. They can get absentee ballots if you're not around. I don't have any beef with that. But everybody knows the potential for fraud on the mail-ins is like here. And that's what happened in Detroit, in Philadelphia, in Milwaukee, in Las Vegas, and most of all, in Atlanta. That's what happened. So the Supreme Court knows that. They know it very well. They know. Which is why we need a national voting standards law that would be upheld by the Supreme Court. Now, it's not going to happen under a Biden presidency, but McConnell should introduce it and the Senate should vote on it. Okay. If nothing happens, if the Supreme Court doesn't hear the Texas suit, and we should know that pretty soon, then Biden's president. Period. This is a long shot, what they call in sports a Hail Mary pass, but I estimate it has a 5 to 10% chance of at least going forward. But again, the remedy, boy, I know those judges don't want to overturn the election. All right, now, yesterday on the Hannity radio program, I outlined what has to be done in the Justice Department, because this is an injustice. The election was an injustice to you, to me, and to every American, even those who voted for Joe Biden, who should want Mr. Biden to have won legitimately. It was an injustice. The only way on earth that this injustice can be exposed is by appointing a federal counsel, a federal special prosecutor. And the only person who can do that is Attorney General Barr. Here's what I said on Hannity. Go.
And I'll give you one solid thing that has to be done. You got to do forensics on the Dominion voting machines. And that means those machines have to be brought in, have to be examined by the federal government to see if there was any fraud, if they were calibrated in a way that wasn't fair. The only people who can do that work for the federal government. You need a subpoena. You got to bring it in. You need the best electronic experts in the world. That is the key to this whole
I have
thing.
called for the same thing, Bill.
What
Well,
happened
then I'll tell you what, O'Reilly. I'll partner with you, and I think every American patriot that believes in free, fair, honest elections with integrity that will have confidence in will join with us.
Well, we are now going to try to get Attorney General Barr's attention to do this. He can do it. He can appoint a special counsel, special prosecutor, whatever you want to call that person, to investigate the election 2020. And Biden can't stop it because that would just be suicide, political suicide for Biden. Couldn't justify that. So there's already a special counsel, John Durham, looking into the never-ending Russian collusion stuff. And I know people are cynical. I am. Durham should have had this wrapped up, at least partially wrapped up, a long time ago. Why is he sitting on it? Why is it taking so long? But this special counsel has to then issue a report on the election. He may come back and say it's nothing to it, just like Mueller did. Mueller came back and did President Trump a huge favor. But I want to know. I want those machines examined. All right, so Hannity and I are going to see what we can do. That's all we can do. See what we can do. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. As you all know, the dollar is at a 10-year low, and November could spell real trouble. That's why I recommend you consider physical gold and silver, and the only company I do business with in this area is American Hartford Gold. You can call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you a free gold coin on your first qualified order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold's up over 40%, silver over 60%. So please don't wait. Call them now. 877-444-GOLD Gold. 877-444-GOLD Gold, or text GOLD to 65532.